She usually does, like every night, but well, today, huh? We're probably live now. Welcome to the Dope and Tape Show. So, we have Justin here. He's a fire pump guy. He has an awesome Instagram, hilarious reels on Instagram, like this voiceovers. And it's Atlantic underscore fire underscore controls is his Instagram. It's great. It really is great.
That does look nice. Most of my videos are not invisible, so I don't know what's going on here. Yeah. No, I'm on a laptop. I might have to switch to my phone. Start video camera. I might work on Firebomb controllers, but technology gets the better of me.
It's awesome. All right. Well, we're here.
So do you have your low voltage as well?
What's that?
Do you have your high voltage license for fire alarm controllers or
No, I don't work on fire alarms in any way. Like I'll land them
no,
and stuff if they get pulled in there, but
like the controllers, because that's high voltage, right?
yeah, typically 208 volt, 480 volt.
Ooh, that's the
And do
big
you have to have a
stuff.
license to handle that?
We have to have a license to do install on that, but we do not do install on any, three-phase controllers or anything.
Okay. I got you. So
Ooh,
it's just if
74.
you
Sorry.
74 what?
Sorry.
What are you talking about?
I just told the Discord we're live and there's 74 people in there now. So we gained five
Oh
people
man.
since last Thursday. Thank you.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, and
That's
BC
awesome.
the Sprink, he got the duffel bag. He's
What?
got his cowgirl boots in there with the duffel bag. Look at him go. The duffel bag is
Dude,
A1, boys.
that's legit.
Now I need to order one. I
Now
got
I
the
gotta get
hat. I got
one.
the fitted hat with the green underside.
I need
All
a
right,
traveler one.
Justin is having some video difficulties.
But he's here.
He's
He's
here.
here.
I'm
He's
here,
here.
and I think I'm going to switch over to my phone here, guys.
Yeah, switch to the
Okay.
phone. Switch to the phone. Everybody, thank you for joining us. How do we sound? How do we look? Been having a hell of a week. We're
Uh,
busy. We're busy up in Boston. We're slammed. It's good, but it's a lot of
Yeah.
running around, you know. New jobs starting, other jobs. Oh, he's trying to join again. Oh, we're gonna have two of you. All
Whoa.
right, sick.
What's up? Sarah's been making fun of me all week because when we first met, I was like, I'm never gonna be a desk guy. I'm always
I'm
gonna have a
always gonna have
wrench
a
in my
wrench in my
hands.
hands.
Oh, you're
Uh,
echoing, Justin. You
let me
gotta
yeah,
turn one
see.
of them off.
bam.
Oh,
There
boom.
you go.
Got him.
Yeah, I was like, I'm always gonna have a wrench in my hand. So then she came in here with her cell phone recording me. She's like, look at him now. He's got two monitors and a desk.
That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Justin, he's made it.
Welcome, Justin.
What's up, boys?
So
Uh,
you have made a lot of people's days with your reels and stories on Instagram with your voiceovers. I have personally like started like dying laughing, like
Yeah,
talking
same.
about the
Likewise.
shitty fire pumps.
The dry
Well,
humor
I
is
think
great.
every time you see a fire pump, you think of me and you think of something funny and witty to say to that fire pump room.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love it, man. I'm a fan. So where are you located? Where are you from?
I'm Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm born in Eastern North Carolina, towards the coast. If anybody knows where Greenville, North Carolina is,
Yeah.
ECU Pirates. But there's not a whole lot there, so I moved away to Charlotte as soon as I could at 18, and went to NASCAR Technical Institute originally. Graduated there, then went for mechanical engineering at UNC Charlotte, and then got into doing this.
You went to
As
NASCAR school?
I went to NASCAR school, man. That's what I
Holy
wanted to
shit.
do.
Can you turn your phone? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Always gonna be the bother.
NASCAR school.
Dude,
Yeah. So
that is sick.
Is
that's
that
cool.
better?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Awesome.
But there's obviously a big difference from fire pumps and NASCAR. So when did it change, and then what made you change?
Well, what made me change was that I couldn't get a job in NASCAR. So I had a buddy at the time that was working for Joe Gibbs Racing. I'd been there for a few years. Could not get me a job doing anything. This was like 2009 when I graduated from there. So, a bit of a recession at the time. So,
Yeah.
went back to school for mechanical engineering. Was working actually at a restaurant at the time, and ended up just applying to a bunch of places, and got into the Aurora fire pump rep for the Carolinas and East Tennessee. So I worked there for a few years, and then started my own thing 6 years ago. So I've been doing it 10 years now.
Oh, good for
Oh,
you. That's awesome, man.
that's awesome.
Thanks. I love it.
So
It's a cool little niche that when you tell somebody you
yeah.
work on fire pumps, they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
And so
Pumping fire.
you work for yourself?
Yeah. Me and my partner, and then my wife does billing and paperwork and everything.
Dude, that's super cool.
Wow.
The
Was it hard
dream.
to make that leap?
Um, Not especially. So, I was working as the sales guy for the Aurora rep in the area, and I still have a very good relationship with those dudes. So, I talked to them at the time saying, "Hey, this is the direction I want to go. I want to go more service oriented, startups, commissioning, working on pumps and everything." And they were pretty supportive of it. So I was doing a startup for them earlier today. So it really went pretty smooth.
That's awesome, dude. I love it. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, my
Thanks.
company they have a certain like relationship like that with a sub that we use. We use him a lot, and he was friends, and they were coworkers with a lot of the guys who work there now at a previous company,
Dropping
and they
links.
just keep using them, and they're good friends, and it works.
Yeah. Was that a pump guy or just a sprinkler guy?
He does pumps, he does sprinkler. I think he kind of does everything, and he has a crew. Um, but I'm not really sure like all he does. I think it's just mainly fire sprinkler.
Yeah. I know I've
But like
heard
he'll
mention
repack a
Bill's
pump,
before.
so
Sure.
Chad and
yeah.
Tommy holding it down in the chat room. Yo, what up?
Yeah. So I mean it's not much. You know, are you familiar with Big Kev?
Yeah, I know Big
You know
Kev.
him?
I know Big
Yeah,
Kev.
so he recently started his company. He made that leap kind of like you did a long time ago.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
he's loving it.
Yeah,
Loving it.
it's great. He's reached out to me about a couple things, and I've met him through the Blue Collar Bobby Instagram page. So kudos to you there, Bobby. But
Thank you.
yeah, it's weird to meet somebody in Connecticut doing the same thing through Instagram. It's pretty neat. But he's reached out a few times about some stuff, and hopefully I've been a good resource to him, and he can be one for me as well.
Yeah, he's been
Yeah,
great.
we wanted to create a community and so we can help everybody out kind of like you and Kev and then you found him through Bobby and stuff and I called Big Kev today for a question that I had about a fire pump and I'll ask it again today and um Instagram seemed to be the best way. Like we tried to get on like LinkedIn is weird and then
Yeah,
Facebook has all the old, guys and then you can't get
right.
on a sprinkler form or sprinkler page on Facebook because everybody's jerks. It's not like our dope and tape Discord.
I just joined Facebook like a month ago just so I could get on Marketplace because there was no reason for me to want to be on it prior to getting on Marketplace. So like,
That's it. Marketplace is great. Besides people asking, is it available?
yeah, is this available? Will you take
That's
50
it.
bucks for it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
if they just say, is this available? I usually put, if it's on here, it's available. And if you say, is this available? I'm blocking you. I'll block you
Yeah.
just for asking that question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're just hitting
Yes.
send, right? Is
Right.
this available?
Yeah.
Bastards.
Why not just respond, I'll take it. You
Take
Yeah.
know?
it. Yeah. Boom.
I'll take it. That's it. That's
Oh,
all you
Kev's
need.
here. He's been great.
What's up,
Much
Kev?
appreciation to him.
What up, Kev?
We got Vincent. Congratulations on the business. Good evening, fellas. I have a vertical Aurora pump to rebuild soon.
Very nice.
Chandler, yo, what up? Jeremy,
What's
what
up, Chan?
up? Foreman Teague. Everybody's here. We're a few minutes late. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I think man, I think the vertical pumps are my least favorite for sure. Like I prefer, horizontal split case.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
too?
agree with you. I mean, even vertical inlines have their place, a low flow, low pressure situation, but from a maintenance standpoint, yeah, you're right. Like they just sit there and they're rotting because that water is coming out of the packing gland and just sitting there all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't love them, and they're just tough to work on. If you need to take them completely apart, you have to pull a motor apart.
Is this
Is that a
couch still
screw?
available? What up,
Is
Sneed?
what?
Sneed said, is this couch still
I
available? Please don't
I,
block me.
I still have I just got my stickers today. So the kids didn't get them. I put on there as a request for FedEx to hold it. So I had to go to the FedEx place and sign for it.
So the kids didn't get them.
Yeah, the little brat kids will grab packages and stuff.
What do they do with it?
I I think they just hope it's like an iPhone or something.
They're just hogging our stickers?
No, just whatever they can get their hands on. And
Put
they'll
them
just,
on
Fucking
Johns all across
better be
job sites.
better be sticking them somewhere, you little bastards. You have your name on your cup
I
case you
hope
forget it?
so. Put it everywhere, huh?
Is your name on your cup case you forget it?
I
I'm just fucking with you.
that was a gift, yeah. So
I actually found one of my long lost cups today in the garage. My
is
fucking
that
work
a
on my workbench I've been trying to clean off.
is that a Tiffany blue one behind you?
Yeah, you like that one? This is one I adopted from the wife. She moved
That's a
on. I fucking
limited
can't,
edition
you
Tiffany
know?
there.
That's it. That's my baby blue.
Did Has your wife gotten a big huge Stanley cup yet?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we got
Yeah,
all
yours
that's
has?
we have a whole
The thing is giant. She'll get in there, she'll hold it like this, and
it's
she'll
got
get in
this
my Jeep,
and it's got the
like,
stainless straw.
bro, and then hit stuff. Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing, man?
So she's banging it into shit all
Oh,
the
my wife
time.
doesn't have the one with the
Huh?
handle.
She
She got the
does. So she has one
Sarah's got the
too.
handle.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ginormous one, and it's cream, and she says that, yeah. Just
Oh shit.
golly, man.
Ding. This thing is a weapon. Just clock you with that thing if you act up.
I'm sure there's scratches on my Jeep from her just getting in and out of it.
You ordered some swag, Jeremy? Awesome. See, I ended up getting like trucker hats. Like I got as soon as obviously ordered merch for myself, but then I didn't realize that they have the actual snapback that I usually wear. I like them both, but
Do
I
they
like
have
this one
dad
better.
hats?
Yeah, there's baseball caps.
Like the soft one?
Like the Irish
I
one?
get that. Well, I think it's like
Like the little
I think
Irish
it's
cap?
called like a no. It's like a
No.
dad cap kind of thing.
A
It's soft.
dad
What's
It's
an
cap.
not like form.
What is it?
what's an Irish cap?
An
Yeah.
Irish cap. So let me see. I have to fucking. Oh, if I screen share, I can't show it. Remember I did this last time? I tried to screen share and it fucked everything up. These people can't see it. You guys can't see it.
It's like this guy.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
That's a baseball hat.
Yeah, that's a baseball cap.
Yeah.
You're talking like a Peaky Blinders kind of hat there, Bobby.
Irish hat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
Boom.
you put the razor blade at
Like this
the
guy.
Yeah.
little wheel.
I just typed in Irish
Yeah.
hat. Yeah. They got those. You can get that
Yeah, I
with
don't
the dope
know.
tape, I think.
Yeah, I don't
Paperboy
know if I
hat?
can do that.
Yeah, everybody's got different names for hats. What the fuck's a paperboy hat?
Paperboy hat.
So why is that
I
a
dig
dad
it.
hat? Now I'm confused. That's just a baseball. That's just like a baseball cap. Paperboy hat. Let me look at
No,
this.
I think it's like a yeah,
Oh
it's like a
yeah.
dad hat.
No, not quite a paperboy. Paperboy's got like a little floof. Hmm. Who knew?
Now
Newsboy hat.
there's like a burgundy red color on the website, and it looks awesome. Like Chris from Fire Sprinkler Podcast, his wife got the like a burgundy red one, and then
Oh, Chad just got one.
yeah, Chad got one as well.
I like that red too.
I
I'm gonna
say
have
we
to pick
shift
it up.
this show just to being exclusively hat talk from here on out.
Yeah,
What is it? Yeah. I was gonna post a picture of Chris's wife. She'd like that's a good like model for our hat for our shirts.
yeah. I need to ask him if I can put it on my
Can we post your wife as as the model,
post your
the
wife.
lady model?
That doesn't sound great,
Oh
but
shit! In our shirt. I got my trucker hat and stickers in the mail yesterday. Let's go. How do you like them? Send me a picture. Oh shit. I was missing a little bit of YouTube here. Got my dope
uh,
and tape merch today. I got my trucker hat and stickers in the mail yesterday. She's a rocket in it too. Oh, Chris is here. What up, Chris? She's a rocket in it too. Chris's wife, very beautiful. All right, so what do you got going on today, tomorrow, this week?
yeah,
Fire pumps. Let's talk it.
Yeah, so fire pumps. I do a lot of traveling, a lot of driving. So yesterday I was in Knoxville, Tennessee for a startup,
Holy shit.
which is like 4.5 hours from home. And then today I
yeah.
was in Savannah, Georgia, which is the complete opposite direction, also like 4 hours from home. So two startups there, and then a controller repair, had to replace some battery chargers in a panel. And then I got startup tomorrow, startup Thursday, and a service call on a little engine on Friday.
Dude, you're all over the place. That's awesome. What are you
It's
driving?
wild. Dude, I listen to so many audiobooks while driving. It's crazy.
I was doing that too, listening to
What are you in, a
Audible.
truck or a van? Like what
Right.
did you go with? Truck
Right.
with a camper shell?
No, so my previous three trucks I've done a camper shell on. And I got tired of like crawling inside of the camper shell, like on my hands and knees. So this one I just had one of those backflip tonneau covers, and that's worked really well. I mean, I use it every single day, so it seals nicely. So I like it.
What do you think about the Diamondback? Things hard. It's like
Yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
I mean, it's a cool looking piece, but I don't know like
She
how
says
easy
share
it is
away.
to get it out of the front.
Yeah.
She's she says share
What?
away.
Share
That's
away.
awesome. She's a gem.
Is that what
Burgundy
Chris said?
red really brings out my eyes. Well, yeah, let's see you tomorrow, Chad. Tag me.
Mock. That's
Should
awesome.
should
That's
be
so cool.
should be flying in a small private plane. Yeah, that is a long trip, and you got to make sure you have everything with you, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have thought about trying to do the plane thing. So in fact, the Fairbanks Morris rep, he's 81 or 82 years old, but he's been doing this, as you would imagine, forever. And he has two single engine aircraft that he used to fly all over the Carolinas doing startups like that. So pretty neat thing, but that's a bit more money
When you
than
get into
I'm bringing.
maintenance and stuff too,
Yeah,
Well,
and
I
yeah,
you
because
think
kind of need to be
you can't really
flying
like
it.
you can't really carry a lot of tools and shit in a single engine aircraft. So
how many
No, and then
hours
once you
in
get there, you have to
schooling?
transport it too.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, you gotta get like a rent a car Uber or something.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds
Uh,
like you need a helicopter.
And bro, if you had
and
a
on the
headache,
pumper.
you had a headache and you got in that single engine plane and it's just like the whole time there, jeez, that would suck.
We have a
Yeah,
small airport near us in Fitchburg, and I'm on a very tall hill, and the planes like I feel like they're low when they come over us. They're taking off, and they're always coming this way, and like you can see them and hear them. It's always like that little plane.
Right in front of me, they have the C-130s, and I think it's like the C-5s, the big cargo Air
Yeah.
Force jet planes, and it flies right over my apartment, and they are super low.
I want to see those foam systems where those
They're
planes hang
giant,
out.
enormous.
Big pump rooms in there.
Oh, so I'll tell you after the show. But yeah,
All right,
yeah, they're just
I like that. I'm gonna
massive,
remember that. Talk about it after the show.
massive. I just don't know how much I can get into it. And right now, it's not a good time. So,
The new job that I'm at is it's big. It's pretty extravagant in an active hospital, passing over an active roadway on what we call in Boston methadone mile.
hmm.
It's like all it's like surrounded by crackheads everywhere, and they're like in the
So they
they're
just
in the
kind of
Dunkin' Donuts
put it in one
line.
spot.
What? The
They
crackheads?
just kind of like put them in one like street.
No, well, there's just so many methadone clinics in this area that like they just that's where they're at, man.
Oh, because that's where their pills are.
And like that's where the hospital is, and then they're like in line with you at Dunkies, like just fucking holding up the line.
Look, I know it's a great thing, and I'm not gonna say anything about it, but like rain, snow, whatever. Or I guess not snow, but down in St. Petersburg, downtown St. Petersburg, the Starbucks will let the homeless in there,
What, to sleep when
and
it's
they'll kind
cold?
of. No, I think. Well, I don't think it's ever cold
Yeah, I
there,
don't think it's
really.
sold that way.
Yeah,
Oh,
but they'll go in there, and then I think they'll give them like coffee or something, water, coffee, whatever. Kind of just you know have somewhere to sit and just be friendly,
gotta
like
give
a
them water.
Starbucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you go in there, I walked in there and I was like, I didn't know they were in there because I was down there for a meeting. And I took a deep breath, like, I love coffee. You have a freaking coffee company, and I take a deep breath and I'm like, I almost gagged, dude. I was like, whoa, what is that? I was like,
That's not coffee.
that's
That's
not what I expected at all.
that's
Don't get me
LA.
wrong. I love what they're doing. It's just, I'm not saying anything negative about it. I'm just saying that I was not expecting that.
Yeah, it's pretty rough when you overpower the scent of coffee, though.
So
Yeah,
so
that's what I
Ju-
was expecting. A
what days
Starbucks,
what days are you normally making videos, Justin? Like what compels you to make a video? Because I don't you're not posting them every day.
Yeah, no, I mean it's when I don't do it like today, it's usually because I'm too embarrassed to be shooting it in front of like other people that are standing there because there's always people witnessing the test or
That's my
whatever.
problem.
Yeah. So I mean Bobby's always putting stuff out there. No
Yeah.
shame in your game there.
Everyone
Um,
knows I'm recording, man.
yeah. But no, I'm not to that point yet.
Yeah, I guess like yeah, it's definitely in the with the older demographic of people, older demographic of men. They don't really want you to be filming them and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
I'm
my
like, what the
problem, my
fuck are you
position.
filming?
I'm walking with project managers, I'm walking with GCs, I'm walking with building owners, I'm walking with, for inspections,
Hey
for
guys,
projects, for all that stuff.
let me
And
take a
just like
video of us.
just take a video of myself and everything. They'll just tell me to get lost, get out of here, kid.
Well,
We don't want
and
your
so much of
influencer
it
stuff in here.
so much of what I do, like in terms of startups and everything, it's kind of repetitive in terms of like a 1500 GPM pump. I do those all the time. So there's only so many videos I can make of those where they're at all interesting. So typically I try to do if it's something unusual or extremely fucked up, or
Yeah,
just pretty special looking.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
right.
It's a good answer. Good on
That's
Dunkin'
it.
Donuts for the humanity.
What's something rough that you've seen, like a rough fire pump that you've seen recently? Like you walk in the room, you're like, ooh. Well, what about a startup? Have you ever had like a bad startup? Like this is just going wrong.
Yeah, Jeremy says testing pumps is nerve-wracking.
Yeah, can certainly be nerve-wracking. Startups, yeah, man, they can be a real shit show. I feel like we've done a pretty good job in the last 10 years or so of training a lot of the local sprinkler guys as to what we're looking for when we come into a pump room, what we're expecting from the electricians, from the sprinkler guys, everybody like that. But I mean, even today, I showed up, and I mean, it's minor shit, but like there was no casing relief valve installed on the horizontal split case pump. they had like 3 bolts loose on the OS and Y. So as soon as I put water on the fucking thing, it's just spraying all over the room. Um, I don't know if you guys are running into this, but we're having shortages of half-inch brass down here. So sensing lines, a lot of guys are sweating copper that have no business to be sweating copper, you know. So
Oh,
I put water on the sensing line, and there's like 4 or 5 leaks at
They're
different
not
fittings.
testing before you come out? That is
Yeah,
my biggest worry, is looking like an idiot in front of you guys. I would
it's
never
because
invite you until I'm tested.
these guys they push so hard to get something done that they might be hydroing the system like the same time that I'm doing the pump test,
Yeah, the
and
GC's probably
got
pushing them.
water on, just got power on. It's crazy, and my schedule is most of my stress comes from scheduling because people are always canceling last minute, 48 hours. They're like, hey, we're not going to have power. Like, well, shit, you're not supposed to call me until you have power, until you have water,
right.
until your bypasses or your backflow's been certified. All that shit's been done. But instead, these guys just push to try to get their TCOs. And as a result, I get to be a little flexible.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's absolutely. So I have a question. Let's say that a company wants to get their inspectors to do fire pumps, but without like hiring someone that already knows how to do fire pumps, what should that company do? Would you have any
Uh,
recommendations?
Yeah, so I mean, a good one, particularly near you, Brian, is SPP has a fantastic training facility, and Will's Lacrosse. I've heard you talk about him before, but he does their training seminar down there. So if you go down, Will's will talk to you about how to rebuild pumps or whatever. He also goes through and flow test their pumps. So they have um, I know they've got a diesel and a vertical inline. I think they've got a horizontal split case too, like 500, 750 GPM pumps, but to show you what to look for, what readings you have to take. And then they have different types of controllers as well to be able to, show you some things. So that's a good resource,
Okay.
but a big part of it is just getting out there and, learning with somebody. That's what I did was I was just, with my now current business partner, just riding in the van with him at the time, every single day, watching what he does, and picking up on little tricks, and then eventually telling him what he's doing wrong.
Yeah, that's how I started as well. Just learning from someone. Now, Patterson Pump has like a training class. I think it's like 2 days,
Yeah,
but they only have, I want to say it's like a 1500 GPM electric pump that you
yeah,
do a day in classroom. The second day you go out there, you do a test on the pump, you come back in and you kind of do test question answers and stuff, and then you're on your way.
yeah. So I mean, the good thing is like Will's. If you've ever talked to Will's, he will answer any question and elaborate, and he'll be like, well, actually, Brian, I had a pump in 1974 that I was working on that did this kind of thing. So if you get him going and ask him a question about something, he's not going to shy away from telling you what you need to know.
We gotta get him on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah. I need to call him. I keep forgetting to call him.
Oh, we got a first time chatter. He's got a random question. Have any of you ever been given a wedgie? if, if so, by
Good
who?
first question.
Jeremy says there's no lack of half-inch brass. He's in Canada and they get it from the United States.
Whoa.
You gotta watch that Sparky.
So maybe it's just the suppliers over there in North
Yeah,
Carolina.
No
yeah,
inspectors till
totally.
I'm tight. Yeah, I do a pre-test. Well, the GCs nowadays want to be involved with the hydro, and I do a hydro by myself before I do the hydro with them, and
Yeah.
then I invite you guys.
Well, I would appreciate that. But no, I mean,
No
there's so
leaks.
many different things that we run into with startups. When I first started, it seemed like every startup it would take 3 or 4 trips to finally get everything done, get it to the fire marshal, the insurance company's happy with everything, and then of course the pump guy as well. But Electricians are a huge problem with it. I don't know about everywhere, but at least here, like, most electricians are more along the lines of wire pullers than they are, actual electricians. So they don't know how to wire a motor up. They may have a Y start delta run controller that needs 6 wires and they've only pulled 3, and then they insist that their plans only show 3, and well, it's not going to fucking run with 3 wires. And the one today, they didn't have a generator, which they are supposed to have down there in Savannah. So we're gonna have to go back out there once they get their generator in August to commission again. So it's always something interesting.
Yeah, I had to plan mine along with the generator to make sure the generator was going to be up and running, so then we could have. It's a big process. You got to make sure you have all your
Huge.
T's
Yeah.
crossed before you call in the big dogs. Kev said he got a pro press for sensing lines up to 175, and anything over is threaded brass. But in Connecticut, all you see is sweated copper.
Yeah, so
And
most everything that we've got here is 1/2 inch brass, but I have seen a couple of guys going to pro press, and that's that's what I recommended to the gentleman today that had the leaks in the sensing lines. Like, hey, you might want to look at getting a pro press tool. It might help you out a little.
just nicely.
Yeah.
Hey, fucking
Have
leaky.
you ever thought about
You
Everything.
ever heard
Chris
of
says
pro?
everything's leaking but the hangers. I love that one.
everything's leaking but the anger?
Joe had a 2500 GPM pump arc flash on him at the airport hangar. Wow, that doesn't sound like a fun day.
Yeah.
Well, how about like that first you had that first fire up? Anything ever just blow apart?
What's that?
Have you ever been at a job where you did like your first startup, and something just blows apart?
Oh yeah, yeah. So, from an electrical standpoint, where we make up our connections, called the pecker head of the motor. And basically you're connecting the wires from the controller to the windings of the motor. And if you're not using a Polaris lug, you have to use like a split bolt, and you have to wrap it with rubber tape and then electrical tape. Well, if they don't use enough rubber tape as an insulation, then you run the potential of it just shorting directly to the case of the motor. So what happens is you press the go button and you blow a hole in the side of the pecker head, and sparks go flying everywhere. It's always a fun, exciting time. So that's happened many times. I had a 10-inch check valve, and we were flowing like either 2,500 or 3,750 at the time, so 100 or 150%. And the gasket in the check valve just fucking gave out and just started blowing water all in the fucking pump room. So that was a lively experience. Bunch of fat electricians running off the ladders trying to get down while that's happening.
Man,
But luckily, I've never had, knock on wood, never had an arc flash like that gentleman did. So that's scary shit. But
what's up, Eric?
It is scary, man. I was at a freezer warehouse years ago, and there's a problem with the fire alarm. Well, the fire pump controller. Fire Troll was out there, and I was there as the representative for the company who subbed out Fire Troll, right? And he's doing his thing and stuff, and I'm on the opposite side of the room, but I'm like a little bit to the right of the fire alarm panel, and the door's open, and he's like, "Let's just see how it is." And he flipped it on, and just boom, just blew up.
yeah,
I was like, "Dude,
was that Van by chance?
man, I don't remember." It was a
Long white hair.
no. He was like a chubby military guy, recently, out of the service kind of guy.
Yeah, that's not him then. Yeah, I mean, so a lot of our fire pump controllers, electric fire pump controllers, are fed directly off of a transformer. You are allowed to put a disconnect between the transformer and the fire pump controller, but they have to be sized for lockroot or current, which typically means that it's going to be a gigantic fucking breaker that's super expensive, so no one wants to put them in. So as a result, when we have a faulty controller, we got to troubleshoot it. We're doing it with it, live, like you saw with the door open. So it's something that is certainly dangerous, and I've had shit pop in front of me before.
Yeah.
But just something you have to be aware of. You got to know where it's going to be hot, where it's not, what to do, what you can't do.
Careful with your fingers. Don't just be sticking them anywhere.
Yeah,
I thank God that NFPA changed the code a few years ago about putting hands in a live controller during flow testing.
yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
so what he's talking about there is, old fire pump controllers that did not have a digital display that would indicate voltage and amperage. We would have to go in with our meter. We put an amp clamp on the leads while we're doing the flow test, and we would measure amperage down there. And we've got our voltmeter, with the probes sticking onto the contactor to see what voltage it is.
With the
Um,
safety squints?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
So yeah, I
Oh,
mean, I still do that, unless it's like a real sketchy something, like if it's a 1970 something controller, I'm probably not going to do it. But if it looks decent, I'll probably still take the reading so I know, the health of the motor, the integrity of the insulation, that kind of thing. But new controllers all have that on the display anyway, so you don't really have to worry
so
about it
much
unless.
info on that display. Not for me. Crazy from Wayne. Yeah, it is crazy.
Well, so when you're doing just, is there like quick math you do when you're flowing the fire pump? Like if you're like, okay, it passed, it failed.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, when I get there, I do all my checks and everything. This is for like commissioning. So I'll go through, do the alignment, put my gauges on, the certified gauges, and do all the pre-checks and stuff. Then just look at a nameplate. Let's say it's a 1500 at 90, which is what a lot of these warehouses are. So as I'm flowing 1500 GPM, I just, take my readings. I just look to see, hey, we're doing 96 PSI net right now. Um, and a lot of times I'll just do that for the fire marshal if they're not. A lot of fire marshals are kind of intimidated by fire pumps. They don't really know what's going on. So
Right.
I just show them, hey, look, this is what we're doing. We are currently right out there flowing 1,500 gallons per minute. You can see on these two gauges, we're producing a net pressure of X, and we're doing this RPM and everything, just to try to help, teach them a little bit so they're more comfortable. But
Good on
yeah,
you.
I usually try to have a good idea of what the pump's doing performance wise as we're going. Um,
Right.
and generally on a new one, if it's failing, it's because I pulled rocks or some shit into it, which is unfortunately pretty common. Or
Pulling.
just don't have enough water supply to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What can?
So let me ask you this. So if there's a fire pump, it's failed for the past 3 years. Well, last year's there's a green tag on there, but I wouldn't count that. Um, we had a suction is low, so it starts. It just you turn it on, goes negative 20, right? I had a sub come out, and then because there was an emergency call and all that, and I just couldn't get out there. And sub was out pretty close by, so he went out there, did investigation for all the control valves and everything. Um, Said it's fine. The On the same road, there's an identical building on the other side that also has a fire pump. That pump passed.
Yeah.
So do you think there's could be something wrong with the fire pump?
No, I think there's probably a street valve that's closed in between, your other building and then the building that you're having the suction pressure issue with.
Or even
Um,
partially
I
closed.
agree.
yeah,
I agree.
I in downtown Charlotte in particular, we have a lot of older valves that might be left hand threads versus right hand threads, and then newer ones will be right hand. So you'll have an out of town contractor come in, and they'll think that they're opening a valve wide open, and in fact they're shutting down, several buildings worth of fucking water.
Ooh.
So it's always a crapshoot.
Controllers per area. What is everyone seeing? Upstate New York, almost all fire troll. We're using a lot of fire troll in Mass.
Yeah, so I
I
guess I
I, I
should.
see a lot of fire troll.
I'm terrible at my job, I guess, but we're the Tornatech controller reps for the Carolinas, Virginia, and Georgia. So we are mainly Tornatech. There is fire troll in Georgia in particular. There's a shitload of
For
fire.
sure.
Um, AIC is the rep down there for fire troll, and they're fantastic. We all get along pretty well, so it helps. But yeah, a lot of what we see is Tornatech. The existing base of controllers, we have a lot of old Jocelyn Clark controllers, Sylvania, same thing. Eaton Cutler Hammer, Metrons. But yeah, a lot of Tornatech today.
Yeah.
Saw a similar
You
situation at a casino in Washington. Tenant's check valve failed at 250, 2500 in the pump room. Heart stopping.
Yeah,
Woo.
yeah.
Connecticut used to be Fire Troll, but everything now is Tornatech. Whew.
Hmm.
Switching it over. That's from Big Kev.
Yeah, there you go, baby.
You ever had a blowout or
I mean,
something
like
like a
gaskets blown out.
gaskets, or like let's say you turn it on and there might be a manifold in a loop or something like that, and it blew out when you turn the pump on.
Yeah, so the city of Charleston, South Carolina, has incredibly poor water. They, I'm sure like Boston, claim that they still have wooden mains in parts of the little island or whatever down there. Um, so they will have like static pressure of like 30 psi. So every fucking building in downtown Charleston has a little 500, 750 GPM fire pump. But when you get into like a hospital or something there, they'll do a vertical turbine like Bobby's old Patty that he had there.
Yeah.
So they do a vertical turbine, and we had one that was like an existing system with a new vertical turbine, and the old system maintained like 160, 170 psi. Well, the new pump churned at 280, so quite a big jump in pressure there. So when we fired it up for the first time, you could watch the discharge piping because it's all just sitting there basically. You could watch it pick up 4 or 5 inches, everything
Right.
downstream of the check valve just moving up.
Oof.
So pretty scary shit, and then or unnerving to watch for sure. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
doing the actual flow test, just fucking Vicks. The rubber was like blowing out of them and shit. So it was eventful.
That's fucking cool.
Jeez. I've had a manifold blowout on me, and then the technicians that were in there was two sprinkler guys. They were basically because there was a big fire pump, diesel fire pump that was providing water flow for that water pressure for that manifold. They were in a room. There was like a one big manifold, and it was all galvanized. And then there was about four, I want to say, um, maybe 3 inch dry systems in there. Manifold blew out, and then because it was not a flange, but it was just a groove coupling blew out, and they got swept out of the room
Yeah.
like on their backs on top of water.
That's fucking
That
scary.
was crazy to see. Yeah.
Um.
Hey, Milwaukee Fuel brushless for the win. Hell yeah, Matt. George, what up?
So
Pipe.
Brian, I saw one of your videos where you're doing a pump test like I do a lot of times, where you're just shooting it straight off the header with you were using play pipes at the time. Um, I've had twice now where I was doing a commissioning on a new fire pump. I like putting the nozzles on there. It looks fun. It honestly
Yeah.
doesn't damage the soil as much because it's not concentrated. It's just spraying out everywhere. So
Right. Right.
I'm still a proponent of it. But I was doing one and they didn't tighten the hose valves up all the way. So I've got a 45 on there and then the nozzle. And then, the torque from it when I'm going 150% just unscrews the whole fucking hose valve and blows it off. So I'm in there
Oh.
taking my readings at 150%. And then all of a sudden you can hear it go so much further out on the curve. and people are like running, screaming and shit. So I was, yeah, tighten your hose valves, guys.
What the fuck?
Good ideas.
Oh man,
Backs off.
I was at a college. This is I think I told this story before at one point, but I was with my father, and I don't know if you ever seen them, but a long time ago they had it was Flow Buster. They had the big
Yeah.
cage, and then you stack it, and it's a big cage. Well, we started opening supply to the hoses, and then this cage went airborne, flying like 15 feet in the air, just hovering with water just shooting out. And then
Nice.
it started to come over, and the engineer for the college that was with us was freaking out because it kept going. Like once it went airborne, it went like almost like
Yeah.
onto a what was it, a generator. It, and I was yelling at my dad, "Shut it off! Shut it
That's
off!"
like one of those things at the car dealerships, like the blow up thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Pipe
yeah.
expansion. Just learned about that in J and A school. Bobby, my coworker loves you. What's your coworker's name? I might just love him too.
Probably Jasmine.
What's Sneed? Sneed's over in Messenger now? Andy's over here. I only see Messenger because I'm on Facebook right now. I usually don't see those messengers, Sneed. We had 20 viewers
Now
on
I have
YouTube
two
for a bit.
screens, so I
You
can
got
see
that?
the comments on my
You got
two
everything
screens
going? You
now.
got YouTube open and Twitch and
I have
Facebook?
YouTube.
And
I
then
got YouTube
then they
open.
got Google in
Oh,
case
that's
something
monitors,
rogue
man.
comes up. Oh yeah, Tristan, that's my guy. I be chatting with Tristan all the time. He played some Counter Strike for a bit. I don't play video games much anymore.
So how do you like the movement with the dope and tape and having a community? Because it sounds like you met a lot of people through it.
Yeah, no, it's great to have a community, share war stories with and compare some of the bullshit we run into and be aware of. So like uh, particularly like with controller guys, it's good to bounce things off one another. Like if we're seeing a failure with a certain breaker or something like that, consistently, or a coil, good to be able to share that information. And then likewise with pumps if we're seeing something. So like one thing that I'll kind of add is that on new installations, a lot of times, well, we have an air release valve. So back in the day, they were a blue round valve that would go on top of the fire pump. And now they're a red square top valve. It's much smaller, and they're a piece of shit. So like probably 4 out of every 5 fails. And it's just a little fucking ball in there that is supposed to close up over a hole to, once air pressure or air is out of it, water pushes it up and it seals, right? It's pretty simple, but they don't work very well. So
Yeah.
those I always recommend to you guys, like always pipe those to the packing drain, or if you want to run it all the way to the floor drain. Just it's a good little uh, uh, thing you got going, so we can all share things that we've learned and
Right.
camaraderie.
I love it.
Yeah, that's what we want, because where we live, it's a close-knit family.
Yes.
But then what's going on around the world?
Right.
Like without us being here talking about fire protection, and then I ask you, with all your vast experience in fire pumps, like what's new, what's coming out, what are some of the things you're excited about? Like no
What do you
one else
what do you hate? What
will
do you
be able
think
to
that
see
we should be
this.
installing a little bit differently?
Yeah,
That's what I want to know because I'm building these
Yeah.
fucking things.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of times well, the first thing I do when I walk into a pump room is I look at the piping arrangement. And sprinkler guys, like I said, are usually way better than the electricians are. We still run across some guys that it might be their first fucking fire pump that they put in, and it's, just garbage. But, I always look to make sure we've got an OS&Y before the fire pump. We've got the pump, then we've got a eccentric reducer or a concentric reducer stepping up. You don't have a concentric on the suction side because that can create an air bubble. And we've got a check valve, test header, control valve. People fuck that up all the time, or they'll put the test header on the system side of the control valve. So they'll come out of the pump, go to a check valve, control valve, and then test header. So now when I test the fire pump, I'm testing with it as part of the entire system. When the way NFPA draws it out is they want it to be able to completely isolate from anything going on in your system. If you've got some fucking relief valve that's blowing off the entire test, it's going to influence our pump test results, right? So, always check for that. Uh, Orifice unions, a lot of guys fuck that up and don't put orifice unions in there, or they'll put them too close together. So if you guys don't know, basically on the sensing line, it's got to go between the check valve and the control valve, discharge control valve. And it's got to be either copper, brass, or stainless, and it has to have two orifice unions. So you can either have orifice unions or orifice check valves, and it's just a 3/32 fucking hole in a union, just to prevent water hammer and that kind of thing.
Right.
Well said. And they're going to be at least 5 feet apart.
At least 5 feet apart, exactly.
So what do you think about
That's good
like
info
it
right there.
goes suction, fire pump, discharge, pressure reducing valve, and then test header?
Yeah, so the way I like to do a pressure reducing valve is with two test headers. And what I mean by that is not two separate test headers, but two separate lines going to the test header. So one in which we are pump, check valve, test header, then pressure reducing valve, then another a T going up to the test header again, and then your control valve going to the system. So that way I'm able to flow before the pressure reducing valve and be able to get my readings and know that that reducing valve is not influencing my flow in any way. And then likewise, to be able to set it properly, I can shut that butterfly valve, open the one downstream of the reducing valve, and be able to flow through the reducing valve and set it to 175 or whatever you guys want it set at.
Love it. I'm right
Right.
there with you.
Well, hey, engineers, listen up. Listen up. That's great.
Yeah, the
And
big
that's
job that we
awesome.
just did, the test header, everything tied into the test header. So you could test both of the
Yeah.
master P, the high zone, the low zone, from the fire pump room. And they all just went out to the same location, but it was like a test header that ran through the whole building. You could just dump whatever you wanted into this thing.
Yeah.
It was great. There's a lot of extra Schedule 48 inch, but once we were testing, it was well worth it.
It is, and for testing, like if you don't, you're putting temporary fucking Siamese connections in places. It's a real pain in the ass. So
Right. Anyone use the new HydroTap Riptide yet? They have me intrigued. They currently use Little Hose Monsters. That's like the new hose monster competition, right? I've seen them pictures of them, but I haven't used them.
I haven't even seen them. I use little hose monsters.
Little hose monsters too, yeah.
They're expensive.
You taught Tristan everything you know, everything he knows about hanging and banging. Let's
Hanging and
go. All
banging.
right, mister. Even come back to the sprinkler life. This community is rad. Plugging tradesmen together from all over the world. Dope and tape. Let's go. That's
Thank
Chad.
you. Thank you. Thank you, Chad.
Legit.
Appreciate you,
All
man.
like all over the world now. We got a pretty good group in the United States and Canada, but we're kind of stretching out to like all other countries. It's fucking awesome. If
Yes,
everybody
Yeah,
sir.
I had a
follows,
guy in
we all
Brazil
follow the code,
message
everything's the
me.
same all around the world. If everybody follows the same code and we all take pride in it, you could really go anywhere and it should be the same. At
Yeah,
least at least
well,
in the United
some
States, in Canada.
places, like I was talking to the guy from Croatia, the Croatian fire alarm guy, and
Yeah.
he said that like they will follow code, but no one enforces it afterwards.
Hmm.
So, so I just like the equipment rots, but it's technically there.
Oh,
And
so
they're
they don't
like, well,
test it. They
that's
don't
good.
test it after?
I'm sure they put it in, test it, but then like 4 years later, there's no one doing annual inspections, or the
Oh.
next year.
Yeah, I mean
And
that's
then
that's
you,
like that's like Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, right there. It put in,
yeah,
that's it. Just
Yeah,
sits there.
that's another part that we have to kind of add to the movement is getting the fire department involved. I've been seeing more and more fire watches now. I just had to do another one in Newton Wellesley, and I need a fireman with me on scene to just drain one zone. And I'm intrigued at getting them in the conversation and teaching them when you show up to an emergency and you shut all the valves in the building, just fucking open a couple drains too.
Yeah.
Because when Boston froze, I was basically just like following the firemen around. They'd beat me there, and they'd just fucking shut everything, and they'd go to the next one. And so these lovely ladies in the first floor unit of this four-story building had the break, and the firemen were very nice at shutting off the control valve. But now the whole entire building leaked into these ladies' apartment, where he could have got, we
Wow.
should have been able to get like 50% of the water out of the drain if we just opened it.
Yeah.
So
That's
there's some teaching that we can do helping with the firemen because they don't, they know how to put the fire out and vent the building and fucking rescue people. They're not there like studying sprinklers
yeah.
Right.
necessarily.
Right. They
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly. We had a facility where, it was like a 1500 GPM pump, all ESFR in a like tire storage. Um, and it was in service for like 6 months. Somebody with a forklift knocks off the fucking head, and the fire department gets there, and instead of valving off like the individual systems, they just shut the fucking backflow off. And in doing so, they never turned the fire pump off, which is sitting there running. So the whole time, this pump doesn't have any water going to it. It's getting progressively hotter, hotter, hotter. Eventually, it just welds itself, to a locked position and goes locked rotor current and trips. So yeah, a lot of the fire department guys need a little bit of training. So there's some that are fantastic and super eager to learn. So anything we can do to help.
Shut the pump off, baby.
Yeah.
Shut the pump. Is there a fire pump? Shut it off.
Yeah,
Oh, is there an emergency? Leave it on. If there's no emergency and there's a flood, shut it off. Shut the valves. Hit the drain.
yeah.
Building codes will vary greatly depending on geographical setting. This is very true, Sneed. So they don't know how to follow plans? Can't be the engineering's fault. I've seen galvanized Sketch 40, not to mention it was painted with a good sized pinhole just the other day. I think we gotta start installing air releases on all systems. Install air release at the highest point on the system. All it takes is 3/4 MT outlet. You wanna do air releases on all systems? You think the air getting locked in there is making pinholes? Some guys talk about this a lot. The air that's get trapped in a wet system. Right? If you got a fully tight system and you go and you fill it up, there's got to be air trapped in there at the end of the lines.
Yeah.
Right.
Air release. You need one at the end of every line, Chandler. This has been a great show. A lot of fire pump
Man,
talk. A
thank you.
lot of
Who's
info.
coming on next?
Great info. What day is it? We got Doug next. We got Doug on Thursday.
Yeah, I think everybody who's watched this
Electrician.
episode needs to send
Spocky.
it to a
Oh shit.
We got a
yeah.
Spocky coming on Thursday.
I take back everything I said about electricians. They're great.
He's all right. He can fight the
Great
fire.
episode. Everybody send this episode to an engineer that you know.
Yeah, share it. Hit the like button if you're still here. We
Yeah.
appreciate you. If you want to share it,
Subscribe.
share it. If you want to come on the show, hit me up. We'll put you on.
Hey, and someone followed me. I was at 999 before we came on.
Oh yeah, so I did a little post last night. Let's
What?
I thought Bobby
Atlantic
was gonna get you there.
underscore fire underscore controls. Right? You hear all the
One.
info this guy was just putting out? People were like they had to be taking notes to put all that info down.
Yeah, it's on my. So I'm Atlanta Fire Protection on Instagram. It's on my Instagram. Go follow them.
AARVs coming soon to the new installs. Good talk tonight. Thanks, Sneed.
Thank you
Just
so
one for
much.
flushing each floor. Bleeding line. And these guys want to do some bleeding lines. We really appreciate you guys for watching, whether you're watching us live, watching the replay. I uploaded the last few episodes to Spotify before the show, episode 50 with Brian's dad and 49 with Chris. I think I'll get 51 on there. What is this? This is episode 52? This is episode 52.
52.
Fucking
We'll get
crazy. This
on there.
shit's
We
flying by.
gotta
I'm
figure
having a
out who we're
great
gonna
time.
have for 100. I think 100. We should just have like 6 people on here.
Just a fucking let's see how many people we can get in it. Let's see how many.
Yeah.
What's the max people you can have on a Zoom? That's what we should do. Try to get 100 people in this bitch. See who can hear talk. I'll just mute everybody.
One person from
I'll-
each country.
I'll
all
talk
100.
over all you some bitches. Mute. I didn't
Man,
use the
it'll be crazy
the
to see where
soundboard
we
much.
are at when we get to 100. Man, it's crazy to see where we'll be at.
4 months in, episode 52. We appreciate
How
you
many
guys,
shows are
every
you
one of
doing
you.
in a week?
What's that?
How long have we been doing this?
How many are you doing in a week?
2 a
Two.
week.
2? Okay.
Two. We
Tuesdays and
did three in
Thursdays.
the beginning, but it was hard, really
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah,
We
definitely.
couldn't do it.
Well, because we had what was it, back to back? It was like, wasn't it like Monday,
Yeah,
Tuesday, back to back,
Tuesday,
and then
Wednesday,
Thursday?
Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Tuesday,
Oh,
Wednesday,
Tuesday, Wednesday,
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot, man.
I'll shotgun in the mute for 100th. Post it to the gram, share us to the Facebook, follow us on TikTok, LinkedIn, get on the Discord
Don't forget
page,
about the Discord.
subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to Twitch if you'd rather. We're everywhere. Hit us up. Hit the DMs. If you got any fire pump questions, you got the guys for it right here. Hit them up. Thank you guys
Absolutely.
for joining us. We appreciate you for being here. See